whenever you take a liquid on the in a solid, like you take water in a cup or a glass, when you see the surface, you can see that a meniscus is formed. Okay, a meniscus is formed. And when you observe, when water or juice is taken, it will be concave in shape. Okay, so at the same time, if you take mercury in a glass or in a dish, you can see that the meniscus will convex in shape. You can say that whenever a liquid comes in contact with a solid, a meniscus is formed. And it depends upon the nature of the liquid and surface tension of the liquid and the solid in contact to give the shape to the meniscus. And mainly, the shape depends on angle of contact. So that is our topic of discussion. Can you see my screen? So, look at the first parameter, cursor here. There, water is seen. One second. You can see that water is there and glass is there. Okay. Now, if you imagine a molecule here, you can see that part is raised up. Where the water is touching the glass, that part is raised up. At the same time, in the second diagram, you have mercury. And where the mercury surface is touching the glass, it is creeping down. That is the difference. And this is due to angle of contact. In case of water, we are drawing a tangent to the surface, and the angle between the solid surface and the tangent, that is called angle of contact. In case of water, it is an acute angle, while in case of mercury, it is a obtuse angle. You can see that clearly from the second diagram. Where water is seen, H2O, where water is seen, to the tangent, angle theta is the angle of contact. That angle is acute and the meniscus is concave. At the same time, for mercury, the angle here is obtuse and the meniscus is convex. So angle of contact is the angle between the tangent drawn to the surface of the liquid and the solid measured from within the solid. See, look at both the diagrams. In both the cases, the angle is measured from within the liquid. From inside the liquid, you are measuring the angle. Understood? So that angle between the solid and the free surface of the liquid, tangent drawn to the free surface of the liquid, measured from within the liquid, is called angle of contact. So here I give the definition for angle of contact. The angle of contact theta between a liquid and a solid surface is defined as the angle between the tangent drawn to the free surface of the liquid and the surface of the solid at the point of contact measured within the liquid is called angle of contact. See, each and every word in this definition is important and you are supposed to study it as such. No change in that. Okay, so that is angle of contact. Now, next slide. 1 second, more students have. So, when the angle of contact is acute, the liquid forms a concave meniscus at the point of contact. Example, water and glass, kerosene and glass, etc. Okay. Second, when the angle of contact is obtuse, the liquid forms a convex meniscus at the point of contact. Example, mercury and glass. Okay. The different shapes of the menisci is due to the effect of cohesive forces between liquid molecules and adhesive forces between liquid and solid molecules. See, where cohesive forces are very strong, there the molecule will creep down. Like cohesive forces between mercury molecules is very much greater than the adhesive force between mercury and glass. That is why a convex meniscus is formed. While in water, adhesive forces between glass and water is greater than cohesive forces between the water molecules. So a concave meniscus is formed. Clear? Now, we have three topics to discuss under this topic, that is angle of contact. Under angle of contact, you have to study three subtopics. One is shape of meniscus. Second, shape of liquid drops on solid surface. I told you that in the beginning itself. In this chapter, we will study how drops and bubbles are formed. So here we will study how liquid drops are formed. And third, factors that affecting the angle of contact. So these three topics we will be covering today. Okay. First topic is shape of meniscus. Shape of meniscus means whether it is a concave meniscus, whether it is a convex meniscus, or whether there is no meniscus at all. These three conditions we will discuss. Okay. First is concave meniscus, where the angle of contact is acute. Just like when water is taken in a glass, and when you observe the meniscus is upper surface, free surface, it will be concave in shape. Okay, what causes this concave shape? That is what we are going to discuss. So consider a molecule A at the surface of the liquid near the wall of the container. So this is the diagram. Okay, near to the wall, look at the diagram, look at my cursor. Near to the wall of the glass, the grey part is the solid part and the blue part is the liquid part. Now let us consider a molecule A here. Molecule A here. This molecule A is in contact with the solid, the free surface. So, now this molecule will have two types of forces. One is adhesive force between the solid and liquid molecule. That is represented by vector AP. It is represented by vector AP. So this vector AP acts horizontally inside the solid. Okay. Next is molecules. So here that force is represented by vector AC, and this acts within the liquid. Now we have two vectors, AP that is horizontally inside the solid and AC that is inside the liquid. Now this AP and AC forms the two sides of a parallelogram. So you can apply parallelogram law of vector addition and you get a resultant AR. This AR is within the solid. It shifts towards the solid. Why? Because AP is greater than AC. Okay, AP is greater than AC. That is, adhesive forces between the molecule A and the solid is greater than the adhesive forces at A, on A and other molecules. Okay. Because of that, the resultant will shift towards the solid. Now this resultant AR should be tangential to AT. What is AT? That is the tangent drawn to the free surface. AT is the tangent drawn to the free surface. AT is the tangent drawn to the free surface. So, for the stability of the liquid, vector AR and AT should be normal to each other. AR and AT should be normal to each other. Hence, this liquid at A rises up, forming a concave meniscus. Have you understood? This is what is happening, and this is how you get a concave meniscus. I will repeat it again for those who have not understood. So, we have seen this part. Now let us see the notes part. The net adhesive force AP acts horizontally and the net cohesive force AC is directed 45 degrees to center of the surface. Okay, so AP is the adhesive force and AC is the cohesive force. The resultant force AR is directed inside the solid. Now this, look at the diagram. A here instead of P it is given A, and instead of A it is given as M. So MA is greater than MC. Look at this parallelogram. This is what I told you. Forms a parallelogram and you are applying parallelogram law of vector addition. Since AM is greater than MC, MR, that is a resultant, shifts towards the solid surface. And this MR should be tangential, should be normal to the tangent T. Hence, the liquid rises up. See the shape of it, it is rising up where it meets the solid. For stability of the liquid, AR must be normal to the liquid surface at all points. For the resultant force to be normal to the tangent, the liquid near the wall should rise up against the boundary so that the tangent AT is perpendicular to AR. Thus, this makes the meniscus concave. Such liquids wet the solid surface. Now, anybody who has not understood any part of it, please tell me now. Because without that, if I proceed, there is no use. Please unmute yourself and tell me. For any meniscus, both forces act. Yes, for any meniscus, both forces will act. Adhesive force and cohesive force will act. Only thing, its magnitude will be different. For concave meniscus, adhesive force was greater than cohesive force. Now for convex meniscus, I will be discussing. So concave meniscus is clear to you all? No response? Okay, then I will continue. Okay, now coming to convex meniscus or obtuse angle of contact. This is mainly seen in mercury. Mercury, cohesive forces are greater than adhesive force. So what will happen? Again the same parallelogram is there. So let us again consider a molecule A at the surface. Here there is molecule A and this circle is the sphere of influence. So here again AP is the adhesive force, it acts horizontally inside, and AC is the cohesive force that acts inside the liquid. Here AC is greater than AP. Okay, AC is greater than AP. Again we have a parallelogram here and AR as a resultant. Since AC is greater than AP, resultant AR will shift towards AC. That is inside the liquid. Okay, and here the tangent has to be outside the surface, AT. Look at AT. For that, the angle of contact should be obtuse. Only then you can draw surface there, the tangent to the free surface there. Now again, AR and AT should be perpendicular to each other for the stability of the liquid. And to satisfy this condition, the liquid creeps down at the point of contact. Okay, it feeds down at the point of contact. Clear? Let us see again. In this case, net adhesive force AP acts horizontally and the magnitude of cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. So the resultant is directed inside the liquid. It shifts towards AC. So AR shifts towards AC, which is inside the liquid. And for AR and AT to be perpendicular to each other, the liquid creeps down at point of contact with the solid. So look, this is the diagram. Look at the diagram here. AM is smaller than MC. So MR is closer to MC. And this is a type of parallelogram you get. And MR and MT should be perpendicular. For that, the liquid surface creeps down. Okay. The resultant force F is given by AR. So for stability of the liquid surface, the net force AR must be normal to the liquid surface at all points. The liquid near the wall should therefore creep inside the solid boundary. That is why you have a convex meniscus. A convex, and these liquids do not wet the surface. And when mercury in the glass, you can see that when you shake the glass, it will also keep running along with it, and it will not wet the glass. At the same time, if you take water and rotate it, see that the water will hit the glass surface. But here, mercury will not wet the glass surface. It will move freely, as if it doesn't touch the surface at all, right? But it does touch the surface. Only thing, its cohesive forces are very strong, and its angle of contact is obtuse, and its meniscus is convex, because of which it will not wet the surface. Clear? Now here comes the hypothetical concept where there is no angle of contact or there is zero angle of contact. In this case, no meniscus is formed. Okay. No meniscus is formed. This is a hypothetical concept. A concept where you have pure water, pure distilled water and a very clean glass surface. Okay, imagine you have pure water and very clean glass surface. No impurities, no dust, nothing. It's very, very clean. In such a case, the angle of contact will be zero. Why? That we will see. Now this is the case. When the water is pure, its cohesive force is near the surface, near the free surface, is very, very weak. And the only force that exists is force due to adhesive force. So MA will be the adhesive force and MR will also act along that same direction. Okay. Then the liquid meniscus has to be horizontal. Sorry, not horizontal, vertically down. T. You can see T. It will act along the sides of the solid. Hence, no meniscus will be formed. Okay? This is not very important. Convex and concave is important. That is a 3 marks question. How concave and convex surface is formed. You have to explain with diagram. Okay? This part is not very important. So the liquid molecules near the contact region is negligible. That is AC is equal to 0. Our cohesive forces is negligible. Okay? So the whatever force resultant is there, that will act along with adhesive force. So the resultant force is the force due to adhesion itself. Resultant force is the net adhesive force. AC is equal to AR. Okay. Therefore, tangent is also along the wall within the liquid. Hence, the angle of contact is 0. This is 0 angle of contact. So, we have studied three types of angles. One is acute angle, concave meniscus, one is obtuse angle convex meniscus, and this is zero angle of contact, that is no meniscus. Okay. Now last thing that remains is 90 degrees. This is again same. It is a hypothetical concept. It is not a reality. It is just an imaginary experiment. The angle of contact here will be 90 degrees. So AC will be at 45 degrees and AR will be vertically down along the solid surface. Okay. Then the angle of contact will be 90 degrees, or AP, adhesive force, is equal to cohesive force divided by root 2. AP, vector AP is equal to vector AC divided by root 2. This is the condition for convexity or concavity. Where you have a concave surface, the angle will be acute. Angle of contact will be acute and AP will be greater than AC divided by root 2. Okay. Where the angle of contact is obtuse, AP will be less than AC divided by 2. The last two points you have to see, that is important. Other things is not very important. Okay. AP greater than AC by root 2 for acute angle and AP less than AC divided by root 2 for obtuse angle. Okay. So now we will discuss the second topic, the shape of the liquid drop. Shape of the liquid drops on a solid surface. See, when water falls on a solid surface, suppose water is falling on the floor, what happens? It will spread. Correct? It will spread. Or small molecules together will form a big drop. Right? So why is water spreading like that? At the same time, if
ma'am, your voice is breaking.
It will not spread. Form a drop and it will remain there.
Ma'am,
Yes?
your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking.
Hello? I can't hear you.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking in between.
My voice is breaking?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Network issue. Now it is clear? Hello?
Yes.
Now is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
okay. Okay. Wait, I will increase the volume for this. Yeah. Okay. See, when water falls on floor, it will spread. At the same time, when mercury falls on floor, it will become a drop there. It will remain there. It will not spread. What is the reason for this? Why water drops spread? Doesn't form drops. Some liquids will not form drops. Some liquids will form drops. Okay. What is the reason for that? That's what we are going to see. Okay. There are three main reasons for this. Of course, 4 reasons are there. One is surface tension of the liquid. First case is surface tension of the liquid. Second, angle of contact between liquid and solid surface. Third reason, surface tension between liquid and air. So first you have the surface tension of the liquid, then the angle of contact between liquid and solid, and third, surface tension between liquid and air. Then surface tension between solid and air. The solid also is in contact with air. Air is a different medium and solid is a different medium. Right? So we have to consider the surface tension between solid and air, surface tension between liquid and air, surface tension between solid and liquid, and angle of contact between solid and liquid. So these are the 4 factors that determines the shape of the liquid drop, whether a drop is formed or whether it is spreading. Okay. Now, to understand this more in a mathematical way, we have to consider 3 important forces. So let us discuss that. Let theta be the angle of contact for the given solid liquid pair. Okay, so for one solid liquid pair, theta is the angle of contact. Okay. T1 is a force due to surface tension of liquid-solid interface. Where the liquid is touching the solid. Suppose you drop water on the floor. The T1 is the surface tension between water and flow. Okay. Then T2 is the surface tension between solid and air interface. That is floor and air. Okay. Surface tension between floor and air. T3. T3 is a force due to air and liquid. That is water and air. Okay. So you have three forces: T1, T2 and T3. Is it clear? Understand this well. This is important. And how is it related? T2 is equal to T1 plus T3. T2 is equal to T1 plus T3 cos theta, or cos theta is equal to T2 minus T1 divided by T3. Now that is the condition. Cos theta is equal to T2 minus T1 upon T3. So cos theta can have positive value, cos theta can have negative value, right? Or zero value or infinity, correct? So depending on that, you will get the surface water drop. How a drop is formed. How when will it spread? In which case will it spread? In which case a proper drop is formed? In which case it is a partial drop? All that depends on this condition. Cos theta is equal to T2 minus T1 upon T3. Now one by one, let us discuss. So for this equation, we get the following case. First case, T2 is greater than T1. What was T2? The force between air and solid. So the force surface tension between air and solid is greater than T1. That is surface tension between solid and liquid. So this is the diagram. Excuse me. Yeah, look at the diagram here. From the diagram it will be clear to you. This is T1 between liquid and solid. This is T2 between solid and air. And this is T3 between liquid and air. So here T2 is greater than T1. Look at the shape of the arrow. T2 is bigger than T1. Right? So T2 is greater than T1. Then T2 minus T1 will be less than T3 cos theta. Then cos theta should be positive. And for when is cos theta positive? When it is less than 90 degrees. Correct? When it is less than 90 degrees. You might have studied all silver teacups in mathematics. So when cos theta is positive, it should be less than 90 degrees. So angle is acute. So look at the shape of the drop. It will be something like this. When you just put one tiny drop in on the, see this shape, the water droplet will form. See how it is. Excuse me, ma'am. When you drop a full glass of water, it will start spreading. That we are coming to the condition. Okay. This is just one single drop. Your voice is cracking. Only if you put one drop on the floor or on the platform, this is what you get. Okay. Second case, T2 is less than T1 and T1 minus T2 is less than T3 cos theta. Okay. T1 will be greater than T2 and T2 minus T1 will T1 minus T2. T1 minus T2 will be less than T3 and a mercury drop is formed. Proper drop is formed. In that case, the drop was partial. In this case, the drop is complete. That is the difference. Okay. And third case, if T2 minus T1 is equal to T3, into minus T1 is equal to T3, cos theta will be 1. And when is cos theta 1? When theta is 0. That means angle of contact is 0. And when angle of contact is 0, two red arrows. Look at the two red arrows. They are equal to each other. Same measurement of length of arrows I have shown. Red arrows. Both are of the same length. And T1, which is perpendicular. Cos theta is 0. Theta is 0. And the liquid spreads. Here, it is partial wetting. Partially it will start spreading. And now the fourth case, if T2 minus T1 is greater than T3, then cos theta is greater than 1. Is it possible? No. Then what will happen? Water will completely spread, or the liquid will completely spread and no drop is formed. So this is the case. So all the four cases I have shown as a diagram here. Look at the first case. This is the case which I just mentioned. Then when cos theta is greater than 1, the liquid completely spreads and no drop is formed. That is complete wetting. The second case, see, look at the arrow. The second case, it is partial wetting. When cos theta is 1 or theta is 0. Okay? And this case, look at the thing. Again, a partial drop is formed. This was the first case we had discussed. A partial drop is formed. And this is the second case. A complete drop is formed. Okay? Now the last part, that is factors that affect the angle of contact. This is a 2 marks question. Okay? Which are the factors that affect the angle of contact? First one is the nature of the liquid and solid in contact. What type of liquid and solid is in contact? Whether it is water in glass, whether it is kerosene in glass, whether it is mercury with glass, or is it water with iron, or water with steel, or mercury with steel. What type of liquid and solid are in contact with each other? Depends on that. Okay. Second, the impurities present in the liquid change the angle of contact. Say, as impurities are added, surface tension changes. Surface tension will change according to the impurity. And as surface tension changes, angle of contact will also change. It depends upon the nature of the impurities. If it is fully soluble, then surface tension is different, and if it is partially soluble, then again surface tension is different. So if there is dust in mercury, then the angle of contact of mercury will decrease. Surface tension of mercury will decrease, and the way it will stick to the glass will be different. Partially it will stick to the glass. And third one, temperature. Depends on the temperature. Depends on temperature. As temperature increases, surface tension decreases and angle of contact decreases. And for a given solid liquid pair, the angle of contact remains constant. That is, if it is water and glass, if you are studying that, the angle of contact remains constant. Excuse me, my presentation is got stuck, so I will just explain. Third important factor is temperature. As temperature increases, surface tension decreases and angle of contact decreases. So because of which there are changes in the nature of the liquid and solid in contact. But for a given solid liquid pair, it remains constant. Okay? It's my this is stuck. And there is only a 1 minute left. I am stopping it here. I'm not able to proceed further. Actually, 2 more topics are there to be discussed. But please excuse me today. My presentation has got stuck. Yeah.
Mama.
Increase in temperature decreases the angle of contact, and for a given solid liquid pair, it is a constant. So today I am stopping it here. We will discuss remaining in the next class. Okay. Have you all put the messages in the chat? I'm saving the chat. Anybody else to put the roll number? Please do it now. I'm saving the chat. Okay, students. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining the class. Bye.